Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to YouTube. I might try and be consistent with this, but don't hold your breath. I'm putting a lot out at the minute on Instagram and TikTok, but YouTube just, I don't know, the long form content, I don't know if I'm very good at it or if it's ever going to be something people are going to watch. But today, we'll give it a go, see how it goes, see if people enjoy it. And maybe I just need to be consistent with it to get some sort of traction. But yeah, I am currently like 6.5 weeks out from my first show, which will be PCA Wales. The idea with this is sort of just to bring you along and give you an idea of what I do day to day to get shredded. And I'll talk about a little bit about what it actually takes to get shredded. Not just lean, I mean like full blown, shredded out of your mind, stage ready condition with striated glutes, dug out hamstrings. You know, the kind of shredded where people look at you and think, what the actual fuck is that? You know, when you walk, I don't know, if you've been shredded before, you know what I'm talking about. You walk in the gym and people look at you like you're some sort of fucking monster. But that's just what it takes. Especially if you go to a commercial gym, it's a very weird experience, actually. When you're a bodybuilder, people don't really understand. I suppose you can't really blame them, because at the end of the day, it's a very niche thing, and not a lot of people are into the sport of bodybuilding. So you can't blame people and get pissed off about it when you are walking around like a striated cock. But yeah, so hopefully this should give you a little bit of an insight of what it actually takes to get shredded. So first things first, when you start a prep, it is very easy. Your energy is high, your motivation is high, you're determined to get as shredded as ever, but that doesn't carry on throughout the entire prep. You will reach a point where it's a turning point, and that is the point where you go from lean to being shredded. I'm just going to move you up here, down here, so I can get my cream of rice out. And what that takes is going to what I like to call low power energy saving mode. This is where your body sort of subconsciously preserves energy to make sure you move as little as possible, use as little fat and energy as possible. Because if you think, right, we used to be hunter-gatherers, and what that meant was we would go out hunting every night for our food, but some nights, if it's cold, we might not get anything, and we would go days, maybe weeks, without food. And that means we did that for many years, many years. I'm not, but that would mean that we, like I said, we would go days and weeks without food. So our body has evolved to the point at which we need to prioritize fat storage, and that means preserving energy and slowing you down subconsciously so you don't use that energy, so you can stay alive. And our bodies haven't evolved. We've gained more food than our bodies can evolve in the world, so we want to, our bodies are still like living in those times. We want to evolve so that we know we're not going to die from starvation, because we've got an abundance of food. So yeah, your body like preserves energy there, and that doesn't feel very fun. You feel pretty irritable, low energy, your legs feel like they're dragging a little bit, and that's just the reality of prep. You have to push through those things and tick the boxes regardless. Sorry, I'm making my pre-workout meal, which is 80 grams of rice flour. Not a lot. And yeah, so when you reach a point where you have to turn that page from lean to shredded, and that's where it gets tough. So prep starts pretty easy for the first 8 to 10 weeks. Once you get into that like 8-week out mark, 6-week out mark, that's when it starts to ramp up a little bit. When you're trying to force your body to lose that body fat, essentially. But in terms of what I'm doing today, I have got legs on the cards. So making my pre-workout meal and my post-workout meal here. So I have my pre-workout cold, warm, and my post-workout cold. So what I'll do is I'll put my post-workout in the fridge while I'm training, and so like I can't decide if I like it hot or cold, so I have both. And I think the cold one is so nice after training because it's chilled out and it suits the mood I'm in. Whereas hot is like, yeah, I'm hot, I'm fired up, I'm getting myself ready to go to the gym. If that makes any sense at all. I'm probably just chatting shite here. But yeah, I like to mix the chocolate in the post-workout because then it goes all like flaky when it goes cold. So good. But yeah, legs on the cards today. Do like a leg day. That's a thing in prep when you start to count down the leg days, because leg days can be tough. But for me, I'm pretty lucky because my legs are quite good, and that means I only have to train them once a week. I can get away with very low volume and just keeping the intensity high. So like, I'm so lucky in that regard. And to be honest, my coach, hats off to my coach this year, has been absolutely phenomenal with the fatigue management, which has been a huge game changer for me. In previous preps, it's been very much about digging quite hard. And that took a lot out of me, took a lot away from my life as well. And this time, prep has literally just felt like a little bit of a extension of my life. I've still been able to do things, I've still been able to enjoy time with my daughter. So that's a huge thing. When you've got a family and you're prepping, it can take a lot of time away from your family. And if you're not managing your fatigue properly, it can become... I find it hard because when you're in that position, you can't play with your kids and stuff. And I'm 6 weeks out now and I'm still high energy. I'm still able to play with my daughter, which for me has been a huge game changer. I'm really happy that I've been able to do that. So I'm enjoying this prep so far. It's good. What I'm doing now, dark chocolate. I have 10 grams of dark chocolate with 80 grams of rice flour and some blueberries. And then that goes in my pre-workout. I'll show you in a minute what I'm doing. If you're interested, let me know. Although you can't speak. Also, what I'll notice is my body weight. We're looking for a new low of 203 pounds, or within that under 204 pounds mark. What we're looking for is that. And I'll notice after a leg day, my body weight will hold or track upwards. And that's usually because you're holding inflammation. You store a little bit more water when you're inflamed, because legs take that, take a little bit more inflammation from you, or just make you hold more inflammation because of the style of training is quite intense. So I'll find the day after the leg day is a rest day for me. So my body weight will be higher, but then, sorry for the banging, then I will notice a big drop on Thursday, on Friday morning, sorry, after my Thursday rest day. And that is what I'm expecting to see this week, because also rest day is lower food for me. So the lower food in combination with the resting and allowing the inflammation to drop off just means body weight comes down. See a nice big drop. And then what we've been doing is running high days, which for me, again, has been huge because it's taken the food focus away from me. It's allowed me to have more energy, and my body just wants to get lean, which is really good for me, obviously, which means I don't have to push that hard. And the high days are sort of like a break from prep, which I've never had before. You know, I've had high days, but they've always been so focused on the food, whereas now I don't care. Like, I just get through my meals. I don't savor them as much as I used to, which is good because you don't want that starvation, hunger, like feeling like every meal tastes unbelievable, because it's not, for me, it's not a good headspace to be in. I would prefer to have a normal life around food, a normal relationship around food. And then it also means my post-prep phase is going to be a lot more productive in terms of, shit, I think I actually need to make chicken with this meal. In terms of hunger and not binge eating. Because a lot of the time after prep you will binge eat because you're so fucking hungry. Hopefully that means this year I won't do that and it will be a lot more manageable. Because at the minute I'm not even looking forward to eating off plan, which not a lot of bodybuilders can say. I feel lucky with the position I'm in. And it also goes into how me and my coach managed the pre-prep phase in my off season. I stayed really lean, and also being very stress-free. Stress has been kept to a minimum, which is a key to actually feeling good. You know, when stress is high, you do weird things. You start like, I'd eat loads of veg and then I'd be like, oh shit, I've just eaten way too much veg. Let me do some jumping jacks in the kitchen to try and burn that veg off, which doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, how's 30 calories worth of veg gonna make any difference? And that's what drives stress high, you know? So I'm in a good position and I'm happy with where we're at. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat this and then I'll catch up in a minute. All right, pre-workout has been consumed. My post-workout is in the fridge. I've just prepped all my chicken for the rest of the week. And then we'll wait until his food goes down, we'll go hit legs. But back on the subject of what it takes to get truly shredded. When you first start a cut, it's gonna be very much a look worse before you look good situation. Because you're depleting your muscles of glycogen and water. So essentially you're just going to deflate and shrink before you even start to see more detail and definition within your muscles. You will eventually see more detail and the fat will come off, but you'll still be flat. It's only until you start putting more food in that you start to see the physique come more alive. Like if you think of like a deflated balloon, fuck knows what's going on my computer right now. Turn this off. Yeah, if you think of like a half deflated balloon, the skin of the balloon is like saggy and like there's still some air in there, but you know, it's loose. That's the same as what you do when you deplete. And then as you fill that balloon back up, that's what you're doing with carbs. You're filling the balloon back with air. You're stretching out the skin, the muscles being pressed against the skin, and you start to see more detail and the physique come alive. So what you have to get lean, you have to get flat and lean before you even start to think about filling up and pressing that muscle against the skin to see more detail. And that's the beauty of like, bodybuilding, because you need to go through things first before you even see the end product. And then you'll be like, okay, let's get back to improving. So you'll get to this like perfect thing for a very short period of time. And then you're back to trying to improve it again for that short period of time, if that makes sense. So you're constantly on this cycle of trying to improve, get into that perfect shape, that perfect balance of condition and fullness. And then you go back to getting fat and trying to build muscle again. But that's the joy in it, that it's a long-term journey, whereas if you were just chasing one goal, what do you do after? It's nice to have that where you can reach this thing, you think, okay, I've achieved that, let's do it again, but even better. But yeah, my PC for some reason is being really weird. It keeps shutting down, so I'm gonna have to have a look at that now, sort that out, and then by the time that's done, I'm probably ready to go hit legs. But yeah, I might come back and do a little more YouTubing to the camera, but we'll see how we go.
I push my fingers into my eyes. It's the only thing that slowly stops the ache, but it's made of all the things I have to take. Jesus never lands, it works its way inside. If the pain goes on, veins collapse, I've waited as my time's elapsed. Now all I do is live with so much fate. I've wished for this, I've bitched at that. I've left behind this little fact: you cannot kill what you did not create. I've gotta say what I've gotta say, and then I swear I'll go away, but I can't promise you'll enjoy the noise. I guess I'll save the best for last. My future seems like one big past. You're left with me cause you left me no choice. I push my fingers into my eyes. It's the only thing that slowly stops me. If the pain goes on, I'm not gonna make it. Put me back together, or separate the skin from bone. Leave me all the pieces, then you can leave me alone. Tell me the reality is better than the dream, but I found out the hard way. Nothing is what it seems. I push my fingers into my eyes. It's the only thing that slowly stops me. But it's made of all the things I have to take.
All right, that's leg day boxed off, and at the minute I'm only doing one working set per exercise for legs, which is absolutely a good thing. But yeah, meal free, which is my post-workout, again, cream of rice, and like I said, it's been in the fridge, so now the chocolate is all like swirly and flaky in there, which is delightful. Oh. Also, I've just fucking come home to a load of flies. Fuck knows where they've come from, but it's summer, so I've literally got this on hand all the fucking time, and I cannot stand flies. They are the most useless, pointless fucking insect in the whole world. I wish we could just eradicate them from the earth, because they do my fucking head in, just buzzing around, being fucking gross, laying eggs, maggots. Oh god, can't fucking stand them. And I'm not a big fan of summer either, because it's just hot and sweaty, especially being a bodybuilder. Even in prep, this heat wave has not been fun. And I've stayed pretty heavy. I'm still over 200 pounds. I've never been 6 weeks out over 200 pounds. And it goes back to what I was saying before, how well managed this prep has been for me. And it's been relatively easy. But going back to like what it actually takes to get shredded, for me, it's been okay so far. I'm not there yet in terms of stage condition, but another week or two, and we absolutely will be. But so far, I've not had to dig, no cardio. Like today, was just in and out of the gym, got legs done, 1 set per exercise, do my warm-ups, get the working set done, ticked off. And then I walked on the treadmill for a little bit because I'm still hitting 12k steps a day, which means after the gym, I don't need to worry about doing my cardio. I literally just walk on the treadmill 15 minutes. So at the minute, I'd go out in the morning, get like 3 to 4k steps. By the time I've walked around the gym doing my workout, I'm at like 7 to 8k. Stand on the treadmill for a little bit, bump those steps up some more, and then I'm about 9k, and then I go out for a walk with my missus and my daughter a bit later on after dinner, and that's the day done. Ticked off at like 13k most days. That's all I have to do. That's all my output is. I feel like I'm cheating. I've never had to drop cardio this early. I think we dropped it at like 10 weeks out, maybe even 12. I'm not complaining. I don't like cardio. And again, that's been a huge thing for me. If you're trying to get shredded, it's very likely you're going to have to do cardio, and maybe a lot of it as well, just because most people are not fortunate enough to be in my situation where I can be relatively heavy and body weight still coming down, still getting lean, and the body just wants to be lean. And again, like I said before, setting up the off season so that I stayed very lean has been a huge help. And now my prep has been relatively easy. So take this as the best piece of advice you'll get for getting shredded. Make sure you stay lean. If you get fat, you are going to have to do a lot of cardio. You are going to have to cut calories, and you're probably going to have to suffer for it. Whereas I'm not suffering. Not to rub it in your face if you're also in a bodybuilding prep and doing an hour of cardio a day. I've been there, I've done it. I know I've got that gear in me. But right now I'm enjoying my life. So what it takes for me to get shredded might be a little bit less for you. Also, I do find the more muscle mass you have, obviously you can eat more. You don't have to push as hard because you've got more mass. Your body composition is just a little bit better. Sorry if this noise is fucking pissing you off. I'm currently making my whey paste. By the way, if you call it a whey drip, you are a bit of a drip. It is not a drip. Where did this come from? Whey drip. Who started that? It's always been a paste. It's always been a drizzle. You know, drip. If you're calling it a drip, fucking get your head checked. Anyway, that's legs done. We'll finish off the day. Hopefully this has been entertaining. Hopefully it's given you a little bit of insight into my bodybuilding prep and what we're sort of doing here. I might try and do one of these a week if people are enjoying it. If you are enjoying it, please comment below, because I do like reading comments. Not the hateful ones, they're a bit annoying. I post on Instagram quite a lot, and some of my posts have gone off, and some of the comments I get are a bit crazy. Sometimes I'm like, what possesses people to make comments like this? And you know what it is? It's always the guys that have no profile picture. Either no profile picture, or they've got like a cartoon as their profile picture. It's weird. It's very, very odd behavior, in my opinion. Anyway, you've got to not give a shit about that stuff if you're going to put yourself online. So yeah, hopefully this is entertaining, because I like to watch these sort of YouTube videos when I'm doing my cardio and stuff. So yeah. All right, let's go eat this. You probably don't want to watch me eat this, but this is the finished product. So cream of rice, dark chocolate melted in, stick it in the fridge. Dark chocolate goes a little bit hard, a little bit flaky. Banana on top, 90 grams of banana there. And then I've got 60 grams of whey paste. Oh yeah, let me put some cinnamon in there. Let me put some cinnamon on top of that. Here we go. Dusting of cinnamon. And that is that. That will taste banging. I've got salt in there already. I do put a little bit of sweetener because this is a pro tip. If you're a tight bastard like me, rice flour, 1 kilo bag of rice flour will cost you less than £2 from Sainsbury's. Go to the free from section in Sainsbury's, get your 2 bags of them for less than £4. That's a tub of cream of rice. You know, the bags of cream of rice, like you get the 2 kilo tubs of cream of rice like this, they're nearly £20. And all they've done is add a little bit of sweetener, a little bit of flavouring. You can do the exact same. At the minute, what I do with mine, I stick 5 of them in, and that sweetens it up. You could also stick some flavour drops in to make it a little bit more snazzy. You know, get some blueberry muffin flavour drops, get some honey flavour drops, something like that, and just make it taste like the branded cream of rice. It's exactly the same thing. It's powdered rice. It does the same job. So yeah. And I won't forget, every day after training, I will have a bad boy Pepsi Max. Pepsi Max is the GOAT, much better than Coca-Cola Zero. In the last year or two, I've been changed to Pepsi Max. It tastes banging. A lot better than Coke anyway. That's it. See you next time, boys. If you want to know anything, drop it in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed. Speak soon.